Imagine standing on a frost-covered hill 40,000 years ago, the air thick with the scent of pine and smoke. Below, two groups of humans, different yet eerily familiar, meet for the first time. One is short, stocky, with pale skin and piercing eyes honed by survival in an Ice Age world. The other is taller, leaner, draped in animal hides, their faces softer but no less determined. This is no ordinary meeting. This is the moment when Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, our direct ancestors, cross paths, their lives intertwining in ways that will echo through millennia, shaping who we are today. Welcome to the Neanderthal legacy, a journey into the prehistoric world where humanity's story was written in blood, fire, and connection. Stay with us because what you're about to discover will change how you see our past and ourselves. Let's step back into the Pleistocene, a time when massive glaciers carved the earth and survival demanded resilience, ingenuity, and community. The world was a mosaic of dense forests, open tundras, and rugged mountains. Megafauna like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats roamed, while volcanoes rumbled, and the climate swung between brutal cold and fleeting warmth. This was the stage for Neanderthals, a species that thrived for over 400,000 years, from the icy caves of Europe to the steppes of Asia. Neanderthals, or Homo neanderthalensis, weren't the brutish cavemen of old stereotypes. They were a late archaic form of human, diverging from our lineage no earlier than 500,000 years ago. Some experts even argue they were a subspecies of Homo sapiens, so close were they to us in morphology and genetics. Picture a people adapted to the cold, short, muscular, with broad noses to warm the frigid air, and pale skin to absorb scarce sunlight. Their brains were massive, often larger than ours, fueling sharp minds that crafted tools, hunted in groups, and perhaps even pondered the stars. But this isn't just their story, it's also the story of Homo sapiens, our species, who began migrating into Neanderthal territories around 50,000 years ago. These early modern humans were taller, more agile, with darker skin in some groups, reflecting their African origins. Their tools were sophisticated, their social networks vast. When these two peoples met, it wasn't just a clash, it was a fusion, a moment that would leave a genetic and cultural legacy in every one of us. One of the most astonishing discoveries about Neanderthals is how much they shared with us, right down to their blood. Recent studies have peeled back the curtain on their biology, revealing that Neanderthals had the full range of modern human blood types. In Siberia's Denisova cave, a 100,000-year-old Neanderthal woman's remains carried type A blood. In Croatia's Vindija cave, a 64,000-year-old woman had type B. Another from Chagirskaya cave also bore type A. This diversity upends earlier assumptions that all Neanderthals were type O, a theory based on chimps and gorillas. Instead, it suggests our shared ancestors already had this complex blood system before our lineages split. Even more intriguing is the discovery of a rare blood type, rhesus plus incomplete. Found in Neanderthal DNA, this trait was once thought unique to a single Aboriginal Australian and later identified in 80 people from Papua New Guinea. Its presence in Neanderthals shows it's an ancient trait lost in most modern populations. This genetic overlap hints at a profound truth. Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were not so different. Their blood coursed through veins much like ours, carrying the same potential for life and for complications. Interbreeding between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens was real, but it came with challenges. Mismatched blood types could lead to hemolytic disease in babies, where a mother's immune system attacks her fetus, reducing the odds of successful offspring. This may explain why Neanderthal sapiens unions were limited, despite their frequency. Yet these unions left a mark. Today, many of us carry 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA, influencing traits like skin tone, hair color, and even immune responses. Every glance in the mirror might reflect a whisper of this ancient connection. This genetic story isn't just about science, it's about identity. The idea that Neanderthals, once dismissed as lesser, contributed to our very essence, challenges us to rethink what it means to be human. Their blood types, so like ours, remind us that diversity has always been part of our story. The risks of interbreeding highlight the fragility of life in prehistoric times, where survival hung on a delicate balance. As we marvel at these findings, we're forced to ask, how much of our resilience, our adaptability, comes from these ancient cousins? Their legacy isn't just in our genes, it's in the tenacity that defines humanity. To understand Neanderthals, we must walk in their world. Imagine a Neanderthal camp in a forested valley, 40,000 years ago. The air is crisp, the ground dusted with snow. A fire crackles, tended by a woman with light brown hair and a sturdy frame. She wears a necklace of eagle talons, a symbol of her people's skill and reverence for nature. Nearby, men sharpen flint spears, preparing for a hunt. Children play, their laughter mingling with the calls of distant wolves. Neanderthals were masters of their environment. Their bodies were built for the cold, short limbs conserved heat, while strong muscles powered their hunts. Their large brains demanded a high-calorie diet, rich in protein and fat. Picture a Neanderthal mother nursing a toddler, her body burning calories to produce milk for a child whose brain is growing at a staggering rate. Studies suggest Neanderthal babies grew faster than Homo sapiens infants, putting immense strain on mothers. This energy-intensive child-rearing likely led to longer gaps between births, slowing population growth. Their diet was meat-heavy, sourced from hunting large mammals like deer, bison, and even mammoths. But they weren't just carnivores, they gathered plants, berries, and nuts when available. Archaeological evidence shows they cooked, using fire to roast meat and soften roots. Their tools, like the iconic Mousterian flint points, were expertly crafted, designed for skinning, cutting, and scraping. Some sites even reveal traces of resin, suggesting they hafted tools onto wooden handles, a sign of advanced craftsmanship. Neanderthals' lifestyle reveals a culture of resilience, shaped by the unforgiving Ice Age. Their physical adaptations and dietary demands paint a picture of a people who didn't just survive, they thrived. The strain on mothers underscores the sacrifices embedded in their society, where every child was a precious investment in the future. Their tool-making reflects a deep understanding of their world, a creativity that rivals our own. As we piece together their lives, we see not a primitive species, but a sophisticated one, whose ingenuity laid the groundwork for our own survival strategies. The moment Neanderthals and Homo sapiens met. Picture a misty forest in the Caucasus Mountains, 40,000 years ago. A Neanderthal band, their camp alive with the glow of a central fire, spots a group of strangers approaching. These are Homo sapiens, newcomers to the region, their animal skin cloaks trimmed with wolf fur. The air is tense, but curiosity prevails over fear. The Neanderthals, with their broad shoulders and deep-set eyes, extend a cautious welcome. Their leader, a weathered man with a face etched by years of survival, gestures to the fire. The Homo sapiens, lean and agile, hesitate but accept, drawn by the warmth. Language barriers loom, but gestures, nods, and shared food bridge the gap. Roasted meat is passed around, washed down with fermented berry juice. Laughter ripples through the camp as differences fade in the firelight. This wasn't a one-time event. Genetic evidence tells us interbreeding was common, especially during warmer periods between 270,000 and 100,000 years ago. Neanderthal Y chromosomes, once thought distinct, resemble those of modern humans, suggesting Homo sapiens men frequently paired with Neanderthal women. Mitochondrial DNA passed through mothers shows the reverse. Homo sapiens women bore children with Neanderthal men. These unions weren't always romantic. Cultural practices like patrilocality, where women moved between groups, likely played a role. A young Neanderthal woman, strong and observant, meets a Homo sapiens hunter. She's drawn to his quick mind, he to her raw power. By the fire, they share stories through actions, not words. She shows him how to haft a spear. He teaches her a new knot for trapping. Their connection, fleeting yet profound, mirrors countless others that wove Neanderthal and Homo sapiens bloodlines together. These encounters reveal a universal truth. Even in the harshest times, humans seek connection. The firelit meetings of Neanderthals and Homo sapiens weren't just about survival. They were about curiosity, respect, and the courage to bridge divides. Patrilocality, a practice still seen in some traditional societies, shows how ancient cultures used mobility to forge alliances. The genetic legacy of these unions reminds us that our strength lies in diversity, in the blending of worlds. As we imagine these moments, we're reminded that humanity's story has always been one of coming together, even when the odds seem insurmountable. By 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals were fading from the earth. Their camps grew quiet, their fires cold. What happened? The answer lies in a perfect storm of environmental and social pressures. Around 40,000 years ago, a series of massive volcanic eruptions rocked Europe and the Caucasus. The Campanian Ignimbrite eruption, one of the most powerful in 200,000 years, blanketed the landscape in ash. Sediment layers from Russia's Mezhmutskaya cave show a stark picture. The ash-rich layers are nearly sterile, with no tree pollen and scant plant life. This devastation crippled ecosystems, wiping out the plant-eating mammals Neanderthals hunted. Starvation loomed as their food chain collapsed. The last glacial period didn't help. From 65,000 to 25,000 years ago, rapid climate shifts brought bitter cold, often within a single lifetime. Neanderthals were adapted to the cold, but these abrupt changes left no time to adjust. Their populations, already small due to low birth rates, struggled to recover. Then came Homo sapiens. Our ancestors weren't inherently better, but they had advantages. Their social networks were larger, allowing them to share resources across vast distances. Their tools, like bone needles and atlatls, gave them an edge in hunting and crafting. As Homo sapiens populations grew, Neanderthals faced competition for resources. Interbreeding further diluted Neanderthal genetics, with their Y chromosomes eventually replaced by those of Homo sapiens. Neanderthals' extinction wasn't a failure of intelligence or strength, it was a tragedy of timing. The volcanic eruptions and climate shifts were catastrophes no species could fully withstand. Homo sapiens didn't defeat Neanderthals, they outlasted them, aided by numbers and adaptability. The genetic replacement of Neanderthal Y chromosomes suggests a slow assimilation, not a conquest. This story challenges the narrative of survival of the fittest, showing instead how chance and circumstance shape history. Neanderthals' disappearance is a reminder of our own vulnerability to nature's whims. To bring this ancient world to life, let's explore two real-life examples that connect us to Neanderthals today. The Shanidar Cave Burial, Iraq. In the 1950s, archaeologists uncovered a Neanderthal burial in Shanidar Cave, dated to 70,000 years ago. The individual, known as Shanidar I, was an elderly man with severe injuries, including a crushed arm and head trauma. Yet he lived into his 40s, a ripe old age for the time. Pollen around his grave suggests flowers were placed with him, hinting at a ritual burial. This discovery shows Neanderthals cared for their injured and honored their dead, a deeply human trait. Imagine his family, gathering in the cave's dim light, laying him to rest with care, a moment that resonates with our own traditions of love and loss. The Denisovan Neanderthal hybrid, Siberia. In 2018, scientists analyzed a bone fragment from Denisova cave, revealing it belonged to a teenage girl, nicknamed Deni, who lived 90,000 years ago. Her DNA showed she was a first-generation hybrid. Her mother was Neanderthal, her father Denisovan, another archaic human species. Deni's existence proves Neanderthals didn't just interbreed with Homo sapiens, they connected with other human groups, creating children who carried their legacy. Picture Deni's mother, a Neanderthal woman raising her daughter in a world of blending cultures, teaching her the ways of survival. Deni's story is a testament to the fluidity of human identity, even in prehistoric times. These stories ground the science in human experience. Shanidar One's burial speaks to Neanderthal compassion, while Denny's hybrid heritage mirrors the diversity in our own societies. They remind us that the past isn't just data. It's a tapestry of lives, each with its own struggles and triumphs. Beneath a sky filled with stars, where fire crackled in the heart of the wild, two figures stood side by side. A strong hunter with eyes sharp as flint, and a girl whose hair smelled of smoke and wind. They didn't speak the same language, only gestures, glances, and simple acts of kindness. He gave her a wolf tooth wrapped in leather. She offered him a handful of ripe berries from the stream. Each morning they gathered firewood together, listening to distant bear calls and sharing steaming meat. When the first snow fell, she gave him the warmest hide in the shelter. When he was wounded hunting deer, she dressed the cut with moss and pine resin. There were no vows, no kisses, only presence, steady and silent, like stone, like fire. They never knew each other's names, but their hearts recognized the rhythm of the other. And when he was gone, she still lit the fire each night, for warmth and for him. As we close this journey through the Neanderthal legacy, let's reflect on what we've learned. Neanderthals weren't lesser humans. They were our kin, with complex cultures, resilient spirits, and a profound impact on our story. Their encounters with Homo sapiens show that even in the harshest times, humanity finds ways to connect, to learn, to grow. Their extinction warns us of nature's power and our own fragility. The lesson is clear. Embrace connection, even across differences. Just as Neanderthals and Homo sapiens shared fires and bloodlines, we must seek understanding in our divided world. Their story teaches us that our strength lies in unity, in the courage to reach out, to share, to build bridges. So the next time you face a divide, whether cultural, personal, or ideological, remember the firelit meetings of 40,000 years ago. Be curious, be open, be human. Thank you for joining us on this prehistoric adventure. If this story stirred your curiosity, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and check out our other dives into humanity's past. Until next time, stay questioning and carry the Neanderthal legacy forward.